Garlic cheese biscuits. Let's go. We're going to start with 4 cups of self-rising flour. This recipe will use 5 cups, but we're going to start with 4 initially of self-rising flour. I'm using white lily flour, but you can use any self-rising flour that you have on hand. Next, we're going to start using 2 sticks of butter. This butter should be very, very cold, but it doesn't have to be frozen. I've used frozen butter before, but I don't really like working with it. So just cold, straight out the refrigerator works for me. I like to dice it up though in little cubes while it's still cold and add it to my flour. Here's a second stick. We're gonna dice that up and cube it and put it into the flour. Next, you'll see me working it into the flour. And that's a very, very crucial part of making biscuits is working that butter into that flour. You want to smush these cubes into little pieces, but not so small, but just about a pea size. And the reason why you don't want them too small is because when the heat in the oven hits the butter, it's going to expand, and that's what's going to give your biscuits the fluffiness that you're looking for. So as you can see, I'm just kind of smushing each one of these cubes into this flour, and this is what it should look like when you're all done. It's kind of coarse and crumbly, but no large chunks are visible. Next, we're going to add a full 8 ounces of your favorite shredded cheese. I'm using Colby Jack, but I've also used cheddar before. You can use a sharp cheddar. You also want to season your flour with some garlic powder and just a little bit of cayenne. That is optional. You don't have to put the cayenne in there, but it's just a little bit, just for a small kick. Next, we're going to do 2 cups of cold buttermilk. Doesn't have to be frozen, but it should be refrigerator cold. And I like to mix the cups of buttermilk into my dough one at a time. This dough is going to be really sticky, and you'll see why I said one at a time. Very, very sticky, so you want to have some additional flour on your bench because this dough is sticky. So have another additional, maybe 1/4 cup of flour nearby for sprinkling and for your bench because it's going to get sticky, and you want to work it and bring it together. If you just need it, it will come together. As you can see, I'm going to stop for a moment and get my hands cleaned up so I can show you the thickness that this should be. So I want to say that my biscuits probably are about 1 to 1.25 inches thick. Initially, when I cut them out, you can just see me patting it out. I don't use a rolling pin. I just pat my biscuits out and cut them out. I forget what size cutter that was, so I don't know what size cutter that was, but it was one of my smaller ones. And you're just going to keep on bringing your dough together and leveling it and smoothing it out and just cut as many biscuits as you can out of it. I think I got about 17 biscuits. So having said that, you can cut this recipe in half if you don't need as many biscuits. I plan on freezing some of these, so that's why I did so many. And I just keep going and going till I can't go anymore. Matter of fact, when I cut the last biscuit out, you'll see I'll just take the rest of the dough and just make a biscuit by hand by just simply rolling it together. It won't be the prettiest biscuit in the bunch, but it's still edible. I don't like to waste dough, so that's why I do this. So I got them all on a sheet pan. I like to brush the tops of my biscuits with buttermilk. And when they come out of the oven, I like to brush them with melted butter. So these were baked at 450 degrees for about 15 to 20 minutes, depending on your oven. And as you can see, they are light and fluffy and even a little bit of a cheese pull if you watch closely. Yep, there it is.